There we go. How about now? All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is becoming extremely rare to own one Bitcoin. There are certain things that we see every day. We're going to be starting in just about 2 minutes, but today's video is all about just how extremely rare it is to own one Bitcoin.
Let's talk about it.
And this might be our last chance. Now, today's video, it's going to be a hangout live stream. I want you to ask me any questions you want in the live stream and my brother. But basically what we're talking about is how posts like this one and posts like this one and posts like this one, we've been seeing this pop up for the past 2 years and we take it for granted. And in 2 minutes, I want to start the discussion on just how rare Bitcoin is. And by the way, are any of these other altcoins, is it our last chance to own any of these in any great length? Maybe we'll talk about that.
Why not? We just did the top altcoin vid. I would love to hear a community response.
Feel free to ask us questions in this live stream. Feel free to ask us questions below our tweet. And if you're part of our Patreon, we've already asked you and you can submit questions there too, and we will answer them. But today is a great day in sunny Los Angeles.
So we got 1 minute.
Starting in 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen.
Grab a brew.
Cheers.
Grab a green tea.
Cheers. How many likes do we have on this video?
Let's see. We have 386 people watching.
We're going to say likes.
We have 32 likes, 3 dislikes, probably from the lack of no sound. You still have time to change that. If we could get to 60 likes.
This video will start after 100 likes. Seriously, it's a small thing you can do. Just like the video. Truly does help us grow as a channel. Let's get this video out there to as many people as possible.
Let's do it.
So that everybody can understand just how rare one Bitcoin is. Feel free to post this on your Facebook, tweet this out.
We're up to 80. We're up to 90.
Tag your friend and say, hey, this video, tweet this out, send this to a friend, say, in today's video, these two guys are talking about just how scarce Bitcoin is.
How many likes did you need?
I needed 100.
125.
125.
135.
All right.
We're doing it.
All right. Yeah, well, that's the point, right? Live streams are a great way to hang out and actually communicate with you guys in real time. And here's the thing, guys, if you're watching this at any later point and realize, I didn't realize they were live, I would have liked to go live with these guys, hit that bell icon and it will simply notify you when we do a live stream. If you want to be notified of our live streams, hit the bell icon and you will get notified. It's as simple as that.
171. Before you go, as we start, shout out to Sam. Sam the Carpet Man says hello and thanks. And thank you for your time and delivering great content. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Appreciate you, Sam. Great seeing anybody in the chat.
Anybody in the market for a carpet? I know who to call.
Sam the Carpet Man.
All right, guys, let's get started. I want to talk for a few minutes and then we'll open it up to some questions. And again, it's just a conversation, just to hang out. But let's just generally talk about the fact that 2018, 2019, and now going into 2020 is, in my opinion, the last chance for the average person to own one Bitcoin. And we kind of take posts like this one for granted. I mean, we see posts like this popping up on Twitter, on Reddit. We've been seeing it for 2-3 years now. And the thing you have to the thing you have to realize is just 5 years ago, 2014, 2013, hardly anybody posted stuff like this because it wasn't as big a deal. You paid $200 or you paid $1,000 and you were able to buy one full Bitcoin. It was only 5 years ago where people were like, yes, I finally accumulated 21 Bitcoins and I finally accumulated 10 Bitcoins and stuff, you know, like I finally accumulated one full Bitcoin. It won't be around forever.
Eventually it'll be Satoshis. How many Satoshis do you have?
Eventually.
And you know, the other altcoins, they did it better by pricing their main thing in the least, you know, not the least, but a lower denomination. So
Well,
it's easy to have 1,000 of.
Like all things, there's a trade-off. The fact that, you know, Bitcoin has a price of, because the decimal point is in a certain place, the fact that Bitcoin is thousands of dollars today makes Bitcoin seem more valuable to the average person than, say, a Dogecoin. But so it's more valuable, but in the same aspect in people's minds and people's tiny little lizard brains, they say, oh, maybe 1 Bitcoin is out of my reach. Maybe I should get, oh, I could get 10 million Doge. No brainer. Right? Maybe we'll talk about that
Doge is Doge.
A little bit later. But in the future, going in to, and by the way, guys, the price chart is looking very healthy. Once we get in this green box right here, we're going to start seeing posts like, I finally accumulated half a Bitcoin, or I finally accumulated 0.25 Bitcoin. I mean, the reality is, let me just read a couple of these posts that we've seen this past year. So, for instance, Tim Draper says that 1 Bitcoin will be worth $250,000 within less than 4 years from now. Remember, that's not enough Bitcoin for everybody to have one of their own. Scarce. Honestly, though, with Bitcoin to be spread out over millions of 401ks with backed fidelity, Bitcoin should be worth over 1 million each, especially when you realize that everybody who has Bitcoin in their 401ks will now have an incentive to buy more Bitcoin, and there are more millionaires than Bitcoin available. And that's a good point.
I love that point. And we have a super chat from Raid. Obviously,
I was on a roll.
Oh, well, will we not take breaks and honor the super chats?
No, I guess we can.
Why not? For Raid, we'll do it for Raid. He says, are you saying we're never going to see a 6K Bitcoin again?
I mean, nobody knows, right? I would say that it's a lot less likely in 2020 than it was in 2019, than it was in 2018, but it's very well we could see a $4.5 thousand Bitcoin again. The fact is, nobody knows. But
every year,
there's also a good chance every year that Bitcoin, every time we get closer to the halving, every time, you know, the building keeps continuing in the world, see countries talking about it, less and less chance that we'll see a 6K Bitcoin again. And again, our tiny little lizard brains cannot comprehend a Bitcoin price above $20,000, just like simply 5 years ago, nobody could comprehend a Bitcoin price over $1,000. If you were to say just 5 years ago, if you were to think that Bitcoin would be spending tons of time around the 7K, 8K, 9K area, which we have seen in all of 2019 or half of it, and we're going to probably see in 2020, it would have blown people's mind. And that's the exact same kind of thing that's going to happen when Bitcoin hits 30K or 40K, or when Bitcoin spends 6 months at 55K, whatever it is. And what I was getting at before is that there are a total at the moment about 46, 47 million millionaires in the world. And I think you guys can all see everything that's getting built out and how people are starting to understand why Bitcoin is valuable. It's a hard money. Not every millionaire will be able to afford 1 Bitcoin. And going beyond that, let's think even smaller. So right now we're seeing posts that say, well, you know, I finally accumulated 1 Bitcoin. In the future, people are going to be trying for a fraction. Oh, I own half a Bitcoin. I own 0.1 Bitcoin. And think about this. Only 200 million people will ever be able to own 0.1 Bitcoin at the same time. That's just 2.7% of the world's population. Or put it this way, less than 1 out of 30 people can own a maximum of 0.1 Bitcoin at the same time. The remaining 29 would have no Bitcoin at all in that case. Math is so illustrating.
Winky face.
I just want to say, I consider 0.1 Bitcoin quite a lot in my view. It will be worth a lot one day.
And what's interesting with Bitcoin as opposed to other assets is that anybody in the world can get their hands on 1 Bitcoin if they have a computer. And speaking of that, if you're watching, where are you guys watching from? This is as much a hangout with you guys as just an open conversation.
That's right. We're in sunny Los Angeles, California. I got my orange Bitcoin shirt on. It says Virus in numeris. That's Latin for power in numbers, speaking to Bitcoin's decentralization. And
we got a Jurian from the Netherlands. We got Books Tony from London. Cheerio, mate.
What's up, guys?
We got some UK, Germany in the house, Ireland, Poland.
I mean, this year,
Denmark. Guys, hit the likes.
Hit the like button, guys.
Seattle, Washington, America.
January is starting off rather strong. And anybody who's worried about this pullback that we saw today, I mean, look, we went up for a matter of days. We pulled back. It's no big deal. That's even how bull markets work.
Hey,
right?
we got a super chat.
How much?
Again from Raid, $5. Raid is the man. And no, Raj, sorry, it's a different guy. It's a different guy. Raj, you're the man, and it's actually 25 secs. And we would love to answer it. What do you think about, and we might talk about this later, what do you think about McAfee backing out of his BTC bet?
Let's go to that. You want to give your thoughts?
I think it was obvious he wasn't really going to eat his own member. I honestly liked, like 6 months ago, he was making the joke that he was going to hire that out and have some strippers or ladies, you know, eat his member for him. I thought that was a funny take on the joke. Him just saying, I don't know, it's lame, obviously, but what was he going to do?
Yeah. So he's pretty far off. I mean, we just saw that video saying he's basically going to back out. And I don't think we're going to hit $1 million by the end of 2021.
Yeah. It would have been nice to see, though. I would have tuned in, whatever.
I think this post from 5 months ago sums up what I was saying pretty well. What happens when almost everyone can't afford one Bitcoin? Right now, it seems like everybody sees the price of Bitcoin and could reasonably afford to buy one with a few years of savings. What happens when the cost of one Bitcoin is so high that most people realize they will never be able to afford it? Will this increase the rate which people buy into Bitcoin or slow it down? People with hundreds or thousands or millions of dollars will still easily be able to buy a $100,000 Bitcoin. But what about the rest of us who can't afford that price tag? I personally think that the denominations will shift in the next few years. Back in 2015, it was totally reasonable to think that you could work your ass off and get 5 to 10 Bitcoins. Just 5 years ago, it was reasonable to think you could get 5 to 10 Bitcoins. Now, most Bitcoiners are trying to get one. Will we still count numbers of Bitcoin in 10 years when everybody is trying to get 0.01 Bitcoin? How does everyone picture this playing out? I think sats could personally become a global standard of currency in the near future. That way more people can be millionaires. Okay.
Hey, just a message to the chat. Some people are spamming it up that they hate XLM and XRP. No spam. You'll get booted. I did remove one person.
Block anybody who's spamming. Hey, we love your opinions, but don't say them more than 1 or 2 times.
You know what I think is cool? We're big enough that we have spammers.
That is
pretty cool. Okay, somebody got put in a timeout, but there's a lot of people still active. So if you have questions. Hey, Bitcoin, somebody says Bitcoin will become a luxury asset once it reaches 50K. If you price something in one full Bitcoin, then absolutely. But I believe we'll start seeing things priced in Satoshis.
Once Bitcoin reaches about $50,000, that's when Bitcoin's going to have about a $1 trillion market cap.
Dude, Chris Shine in the house. Chris Shine just super chatted $100 saying pay it forward. Dude, Chris.
Cheers, Chris. Appreciate you.
You're the man, dude. You ever in LA? I'll see you at the Whole Foods.
I remember when for 4 months, Bitcoin was trading below $4,000. Many people were too scared to buy. Buying below $4,000 didn't feel that good, especially if you bought a bunch at $6,000. But you had 4 months to accumulate one Bitcoin at less than $4,000. Now, you've had a couple months to accumulate Bitcoin at about just over $7,000 going into the high $6,000. We could retest that area or even go lower. The point is, if you take a look at this on a more long-term time frame, you're not going to be able to have the opportunity to buy one Bitcoin for too much longer. And it is going to be normal to say things like, I own a 0.1 Bitcoin, or I own 100 million Satoshis, something that I like because I've been talking about, Bitcoin companies where you can earn Bitcoin back, like Lolly, like Fold. These are companies
I like Fold
that I like using because, I buy Chipotle anyway, so why not earn some Bitcoin back? Or I shop on Amazon anyway, why not earn Bitcoin back with Lolly and Fold? But you earn Bitcoin back in Satoshis. And even with, I don't think the Lightning Network is going to gain, I think it's going to go very slow, but fundamental building out in the next 5 years. I think the Lightning Network is going to be really good in the long-term future. But I don't see a lot of people spending too much Bitcoin. But the point is, with things that implement the Lightning Network, things that these little apps, Lolly, Fold popping up, it helps change people's mindset looking at Bitcoin in Satoshis. So then all of a sudden, where in the past people go, well, I can't really afford a $1,000 Bitcoin, but I can get, a bunch of XRP, or I can get a bunch of Doge, with these companies popping up, it's going to be a lot better because, people are going to think of, I can get a lot of Satoshis. And at that point too, eventually people are going to understand the argument that Bitcoin is a hard money. And that's why it has more value than just any old cryptocurrency. And Bitcoin's unconfiscatable, decentralized, stuff like that.
Somebody says Baba Booey. Somebody says people are saying, that Bitcoin's dropping, but it dropped earlier today.
It did drop earlier today.
So yes, today it did drop.
I mean, it is.
Somebody said they could hear.
Even in the last hour, we kind of had a little drop, but it's still kind of around the same point.
Yeah. Somebody says they can hear our dog barking.
Not our dog, neighbor's dog.
Neighbor's dog.
I wish I had a dog.
That'd be nice.
Got any questions or?
Guys, what are your questions? Looking at chat now. Let's see. Alexander Lindblom says, what does your alt portfolio look like? Any XRP?
My portfolio, and I mean, if you've been following our channel for a while, in videos occasionally, I've been telling you slowly how my portfolio has changed. Anybody in the chat know the number one coin in my portfolio? And again, I don't want you guys to copy me. I'm not telling you what you should buy. Plenty of people will make better cryptocurrency investments than me. They'll know when to buy, when to sell. That's not what I'm here for. But my portfolio by now is 99.9% Bitcoin because I've only been buying Bitcoin the past couple of years. And while Bitcoin's been going up, alts have been shrinking down. So
yeah. And do you own XRP? I never have. You do not own any. Somebody asks, do we have to fill the CME gap, or do we have a CME gap to fill at 7,600? I think we still do.
76.
Well, we'd have to look at the CME gap, but let's not do that.
I mean,
but the thing is,
I don't put tons of stock into that. I mean, Bitcoin is a global asset. It's trades 24/7. CME shuts down on that.
I don't put any stock, even though historically in the past, at least 2 years, since CME started doing futures, we have filled it.
Bitcoin just likes to trade around a little bit,
but we don't have to.
Guys, the cat is out of the bag. If you live in a major city like my brother and I do.
I just saw one of these on a truck earlier
These
today.
are popping up all over Los Angeles. I believe this one is in Los Angeles, but multiple billboards. Austin just today saw one on a truck. It's crypto.com advertising, even though they have their own token, they're advertising for Bitcoin. The 22 trillion printer will never stop. Obviously referencing the Fed printing money. It's time for a scarce asset like Bitcoin. Can you believe that companies are putting billboards advertising? I mean, it's kind of crazy.
The Hog says, you guys twins or what?
Yep, we're twins.
We are twins. We're getting some questions about, are you stopping at 1 BTC? This one's from Zoo Jersey. Are you stopping at 1 BTC or continuing on buying?
Regarding the
1 BTC should be, I think, is a great goal for everybody, but 1.5 is better.
Regarding the title, I have to admit, I wasn't talking about myself. I was more referencing posts like this, or like this one, or like this one. And because I wanted the title to be engaging. And more than that, in my opinion, the number one rule of Bitcoin is do not talk about how much Bitcoin you own. And the number 2 rule is do not talk about how much Bitcoin you own, because one Bitcoin, maybe it's, $10,000, hopefully sometime this year, could be worth a lot more in the future. Just like if you look at posts from 5 years ago, people talking about, oh, I own 50 Bitcoin. Wasn't a big deal back then. But now all of a sudden, so never tell people how much Bitcoin you own.
What's your number 3 rule?
I don't know. I can't reveal that one.
We got him. Somebody did ask, hey, it's easier when you guys tag our handle. Igor Ofalo says, Altcoin Daily, you should do a cozy weed smoking crypto show. You guys are you're in California, guys. Come on.
It would be legal. We enjoy beers on it. The thing is, I would get dull. Not that it would be dull for you guys if I was just smoking weed. So
for me, I get, in my opinion, more.
Somebody's got to talk, and if I'm smoking weed, I'm just going to be melting into this chair.
Yeah, I get more chill when I smoke weed. I get more talkative when I drink a beer. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
All right, going back to
how many likes do we have in this video?
We have 318 likes, but the thing is we have 900 people watching.
If this video gets to 800 likes, if this video gets to 800 likes, because that's the point, right? We're doing this because we want to chat with as many people as possible. We want to get this information out there to as many people as possible. If this video gets to 800 likes, what'll we do?
We'll wrestle.
No.
We'll wrestle right here in the kitchen.
That'd be dumb. We don't need 800 likes.
Guys, I'll wrestle him. He has to wrestle it back. 800 likes. That's the rules. Hey, I just want to give a big shout out to Sam, the Carpet Man. Cheers to you, brother. He says, to the brotherhood, cheers, super chat, $99.99. I can't speak for Aaron, but my half is going right back into the channel, or BTC.
Carpet business must be doing well this year. Or Sam's just a good guy. No,
Sam's a good guy, dude.
It's sometimes hard for me to be sincere, but I really do appreciate it because we do put time into this, and hopefully you do get value. And YouTube will demonetize our videos every once in a while. So
Sam, if you're ever in LA, we're not really into meeting up, but hopefully we'll see you. Well, a lot of people ask us.
I'd love to meet up with all 800 of you.
It's cool if we do a casual.
We're boring to hang out with. We talk about Bitcoin for 10 minutes and it's like, did you see that movie?
Hey, Trigger Mac says, did you guys ever come to the East Coast?
Sometimes. We're from Ohio, but we never go to the East Coast, but maybe rarely. Sometimes we go to Ohio.
We do.
Sometimes we travel for, filmmaking.
We went to Connecticut.
As you know, me and my brother are filmmakers, as well as YouTubers and crypto people.
If you want to follow our personal Instagrams, they're down below in the description. It's always free. This will always be about Bitcoin and crypto, so we like to keep it on that mostly for this channel.
If you follow our personal Instagrams down below, you'll be surprised how little we're not posting about Bitcoin every day or every week, because people don't want to see that on Instagram. They would rather just see my face or something.
2 good questions. This first one is
finally a good question.
Just a quick one. Where in Ohio? Cleveland area.
Yeah. What do you want? My address?
30 miles east of Cleveland, roughly. Suburbs.
Maybe it's Cincinnati. Relax.
Carl Netzler. See him all the time. Carl, thanks for showing up today, man. He says, are you guys interested in BlockFi? I think that's a great question. BlockFi is when you can give them your crypto and make interest on it. I think they promise 6%.
It's like Celsius, or
it's exactly. Just a different company. In simplistic terms, it is like that. Me personally, that's great, but then it's essentially just like a bank. Like all those things are recreating banks, which is fine. Banks now offer you 1% to no percent, but again, it's a third party that's now managing your Bitcoin.
Right. So there's risk associated with it. I can't speak to a specific company, whether it's good or bad, but I think just going forward in the future, we will see companies like this, and inevitably most people will be entrusting their Bitcoin or whatever to third parties that they end up trusting.
So I don't use BlockFi, but obviously it's a thriving business.
I just total, buddy. And actually, if you want some real advice, contact a financial advisor.
Hey, Overtino super chatted.
How much was the super chat?
€2. Appreciate you, man.
Now, here's my question. Before we read,
I've read it, but before you read it,
does a stripper address every person who gives her $1?
They have to a little bit.
Not really.
You
throw,
do.
you throw $1 on stage,
and she has to get it,
and the stripper gets it, but she doesn't address that particular person.
How long have you hated women?
I don't.
Wow, dude.
I don't even like strip clubs, but I'm just saying. Now, if you throw $100 at the stripper, of course, I'm just being cynical.
Okay, cool. No, that's Aaron will play the heel on every live stream.
I just like to mess with this guy.
I'll play friend of Overtino. He says his question is, hold a 100K Bitcoin party in LA and he will fly from the UK. That could be fun.
Yeah, but I'm not.
I
don't want to plan a big party.
Yeah, Aaron,
I go to a
we
party.
we like to show up. We don't want to host.
I like to show up to a party and then leave the party and not say goodbye.
That's the best. You're still gonna be friends with all those people.
Yeah, we'll do a live stream, obviously.
We'll do a live stream.
Did our Patreon come up with any questions?
Let's see.
Well, you figure that out.
Because I get an email.
I'll address a couple news stories, then we'll get back to the questions. So a couple news stories hit the charts this week, and maybe this one's the most recent, just from an hour ago. Peter Schiff lost his Bitcoin, claims owning crypto was a bad idea. Look at this. Peter Schiff looks exactly what a cartoonist. Anyway, so on January 19th, famous crypto skeptic and gold bug Peter Schiff claimed on Twitter that he has lost access to his Bitcoin wallet and his password is no longer valid. Schiff added that his BTC is now intrinsically worthless and has no market value. He also added, I knew owning Bitcoin was a bad idea. I just never realized it was this bad. And it was just Peter Schiff. He just talked about his Coinbase account. And basically, if we can pull up this tweet right here, he's just basically Peter Schiff is fudding it up. This was the thing Peter Schiff tweeted out. It's just some FUD. Old man yelling at Bitcoin. Don't pay him any attention. And then the other story is Tesla. One person who likes Bitcoin and likes Tesla, was it Elon Musk?
I would love it if it was.
Linked a Bitcoin node to his Tesla. Now, if you read this article, they basically can conclude that at the moment, running a Bitcoin full node on a Tesla isn't necessarily the best idea because, you don't want Tesla slowing down its usual software runs to constantly be updating your Bitcoin node at the moment. But overall, this is pretty cool. Someday in the future, and you can see the picture right here. Someday, this is a Tesla. You can see the Bitcoin node running. Someday, this could be a great idea. Right now, it's great. People are trying this out, but it's just kind of interesting.
I want to give 2 shout outs. One to Bare Bones Mining.
He's always supportive.
He supports us, man. I support you. Great to see in the chat. He says, guys, I took the red pill. Let the journey begin. But this one's a comment I like even better. Never Settles says, please remember to hit the like button if you are enjoying the stream. It really helps the channel. You're the man. Totally agree with you. And let's see, going to the chat.
Hey, did we get 800 likes yet?
We have 467.
So we got to think of it. If we get 800 likes, we got to do something.
Then you're going down, dude. Then it's wrestling.
It's dumb.
And maybe they don't want to see it. And if they don't want to see it, then don't worry about it.
That's dumb.
But think about this. If somebody is wrestling you, I think you got to wrestle back or complete submission.
That's right.
All right, going to the chat.
Ask your craziest question in the chat.
Hey, Sam, the carpet man has to get out of here.
Later, Sam.
But see you on Twitter, Sam. Hey, okay, a crazy question. Heike H says, will you guys get a Tesla? Smiley face. I guess if BTC hits 1 million.
I would love to. I would love a Tesla. The thing is, I'm not an OG Bitcoiner, so I can't afford a Tesla, but I would love to. My dream car would be like something like a Tesla or a super nice, like maybe Mustang or something, or Charger or Challenger.
This guy's wanted a Charger forever.
Either go full muscle car or full cool electric Tesla.
I'm not really a car guy, but I would, if I splurged, then Tesla. That's the new hotness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, MZ says, show your private keys.
Okay, let me just
get out. Hey, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Never show your private keys. Okay. Let's take a little drinky drink.
Let's take a drink.
Everybody take a sip. We're at 500 likes.
Everybody look at the chat. Point out the good questions.
Okay.
It's kind of surprising that in January, a month, everybody expected Bitcoin to go down. Bitcoin went up. I kind of feel like people are still expecting Bitcoin to retest, 7,000. So it should be interesting.
Axiom Curb Community says, when will you be doing the video on Cardano? I'll answer. Whenever Cardano makes big news, we'll obviously cover it. Keep you informed.
I think you meant like to follow up to your altcoin video.
Absolutely. I would say first or second week of next month. It'll be and again, you chose these coins, but we'll talk about them. They won the community vote.
Dude, there's so much fire on this video you put out yesterday. Why not just make it for tomorrow? Just finish it up.
Takes a lot of work.
All
Takes a lot of work. And I could have made that 20 minutes long and included XRP, Cardano, and
now
the other one, but I want to do it right. So
yeah, exactly. So this is a really good video if you're interested in talking about altcoins. The reason this was cool for two reasons. Number one, originally we put out a question on our Patreon saying, what kind of video do you guys choose which video we play next or do next? And somebody chose, or the Patreon community chose this one. And then we put out a video to everybody saying, now you choose which altcoins you want us to talk about. And the altcoins in this video are ones that the community said, I think will do well in 2020.
We have a question from Jeff Mize. He says, are you guys still acting? If you want to follow that portion of our lives, go hit up our Instagrams. There's links down below. That'll be more about acting. But you just did, I don't know if you can name the brand. You did
they're definitely not watching.
Maybe don't name the brand, but you just did a fast food commercial.
We're both actors and filmmakers. So we both,
and crypto enthusiasts.
A lot of actors are just like airheads, but we're also like in love with the process of filmmaking in general. So yeah, I just did a commercial for a big fast food company, should be coming out in cross promotion with a movie coming out in the next few months during the summer. And I'm just an actor in the commercial. Maybe you'll see me for a few seconds.
Just an actor, dude.
Yeah, but it was cool.
Hell yeah, you are.
And then, Austin and I have a commercial campaign, which we don't need to talk about.
But they can just check out our Instagrams if you care.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very much still into it. It's cool. All our friends in Los Angeles are actors and filmmakers, and we do stuff with them and make films. We actually just produced and acted in 2 short films, which are in post-production right now. And yeah. Pavel Coel says, will you ever sell your last Satoshi? And I want to address this. There's a lot of FUD. Will Bitcoin someday go to zero? And I just want to say, I'm never going to sell my last Satoshi. So by definition, right, Bitcoin could never go to zero as long as this guy will buy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the fact is, that is an interesting question. I think, especially as more Bitcoin's network expands, there's always going to be a certain amount of Bitcoin that people who have accumulated will never sell. If you own 1 Bitcoin, maybe you're never going to sell 0.2 Bitcoin. If you own 10 Bitcoin, maybe you're never going to sell 3 of those Bitcoin. And that's simply because of the fact is when people actually think about it and see all the building going on and people who kind of realize why Bitcoin is valuable, they kind of see that we're still so early on that what you don't want to do is have tons and tons of great gains like we saw in the last cycle, and then sell all your coins after you 10x'd at $2,800 per Bitcoin, sell it here, and then have something like this happen. So I think a lot of people who own more than 1 Bitcoin are at least never going to sell one. And I think going forward, as people can't own 1 Bitcoin, I think there is going to be a certain amount of people who never sell their Satoshis.
Christopher Abbott says, hi from Yugoslavia. Hi from LA. Never settles. Appreciate you, man. Trigger Mac, look up the film Splitting Image. Sutsa says, hi from Poland. I'm in.
Hey.
Okay, here's a question. Rob Moore says, question, will you be using EOS Voice? Beta is released February 14th. Why not?
Because it's dumb. Nobody's going to, we don't need to, first of all.
I applaud people experimenting. I signed up for the beta so I could let the community know my thoughts.
You signed up for the beta?
I put my name, they have my email or whatever. You can't, cool. I don't think you can sign up till the 14th or something, but I put my email down. I was never into Steam it, but I will definitely try it out.
It has so much to prove to me because now we've seen all sorts of things, you know, like this with like Steam It. It's a cool concept. Didn't really catch on because YouTube's the one that has the audience. I'd never use Facebook, but the fact is Facebook has the greatest network effect. And when everybody gets into high school and everybody gets into college, they just join Facebook and it has a huge network effect.
Yeah, our parents did. Kids today still joining Facebook.
Right now, the killer app for cryptocurrency is money. It is Bitcoin. We have yet to see a killer app on Ethereum or EOS. And I bet eventually that will happen. But right now, the killer app is money/store value, in my opinion. Maybe you have your own. Maybe you're going hard on EOS, and you know what? You're taking that risk, and you could take that reward.
Hey, P. Erickson says, "Sup, guys."
We're probably only going to go for like 10 more minutes.
Max.
10 more minutes.
Unless there's some good questions.
So this is the final 10 minutes, guys, and it's just going to be a hangout. And
the likes are up to 552. Again, if we get to 800, I will wrestle my brother.
I guess I'll be forced to wrestle.
If you guys like that, do you catch the Conor McGregor fight?
I didn't watch it. No.
He knocked the guy out in the first round, like the first 40 seconds with just a shoulder move. I saw the highlights.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that was not a, exciting fight.
Well, it was short and exciting for 40 seconds or 2 minutes or, a short amount of time. Okay.
Oh, somebody commented on our Twitter, Bitcoin Basic Education. Congrats on the first Bitcoin. People will look at you in awe in 10 years when you tell them you had one. What is one thing that the crypto space does well? And what is one thing that we all need to improve on? Great question. First of all, I want to say again, the title was meant to be engaging. I don't want to talk about how much Bitcoin or cryptocurrency I actually own. I would only ever talk in percentages. And I encourage everybody not to tell if you ever accumulate one Bitcoin. What I was referencing are these posts on Reddit and Twitter that we see all the time. But to answer your question, what is one thing that the crypto space does well and one thing that we really need to improve on?
I think user experience, obviously.
User experience.
It's the huge barriers to entry in just buying Bitcoin.
And also just the tribalism in general, I think we can improve on. And just the fact that knowing Bitcoin maximalists need to realize that people coming into the space are going to be looking at altcoins as well. And it's normal to ask questions, and it's, it's normal to, speculate on what could happen. And then altcoiners need to realize that, there's a reason Bitcoin is number one, and I like the properties that has.
If you follow Willy Woo on Twitter, he obviously, from an investment point of view, he cares about Bitcoin, but when somebody asks him about Decred or other altcoins in the space or Ethereum, he says they're cool, and he says they're doing super interesting stuff, unlike other Bitcoin maximalists, or not that he is, but unlike other people who just openly trash. I think we should promote innovation. Yeah. Cool things are happening.
I want to say, any other crypto influencers in the chat right now, reveal yourself. This is your permission to do so. I always feel weird when I go on other people's live streams with the Altcoin Daily account, because I feel I don't want to distract them, but it's okay. We won't be distracted.
Okay, a few more questions. I don't know if you want to answer this. It's an interesting question, but from Krusty Zone, as we progress towards space/colonies, how do you expect it to affect prices? Will it blow up or normalize the prices?
Well, right now you can actually transact Bitcoin with a satellite. And at the moment, satellites are centralized for Bitcoin.
Trayvon James is here. What's up, man?
All right. Hey, what's up? Yes, finally, that's Trayvon James answering my call. But right now, you can transact in space through satellites, which is a centralized process right now. But eventually, satellites will become less decentralized, and it is possible we could be, if there's a colony on Mars, we could be using Bitcoin. It's possible. It's far in the future.
For me, I'm concerned about what's happening right now with people on Earth, and I think that use case is big enough to put BTC on the moon as opposed to us. For me,
number one altcoin, in your opinion, we'll answer that if we get to 600 likes. I won't forget the question. If we get to 600 likes, I will name my number one altcoin, in my opinion.
All right,
it's only 16 more.
No wimping out and saying, Bitcoin or some joke. People want to know.
Okay.
People are loving Trayvon James.
Yep, Trayvon James, famous for promoting BitConnect,
and he's proud of that.
Everybody makes mistakes,
but he's proud of that.
All right, good.
Please remember to hit the like button. Never settles. And hey, we got 606. What's your top altcoin?
And again, I'm not gonna wimp out, but I want to preface this by saying this isn't talking about how I'm going hard in this coin, or I want to say again, I think Bitcoin has the most value. But beyond that, then now getting a little more specific, I think the altcoins that are going to pump the hardest in the next retail-driven rally are the ones with the best marketing teams. So can I give like a couple, or does it have to be one?
2 to 3 max.
I think if Cardano markets, they could end up doing well.
Do they market?
They haven't really yet, but if they ever do, I mean, they have like the different branches that will. I mean, they've been kind of focusing on building. I mean, I don't want to like say like Hex, but like, because, that's like, there's too much risk associated with that. But
were you not just making, never mind.
Yeah, like BitConnect, I know. But I'm just saying, just like BitConnect, we could, and this is not, I'm not saying buy it, or I don't have any Hex, but I could make a case why it might pump if a lot of people think Richard would use that money to promote Hex. But the fact is, we don't know. There's too much risk associated.
My number one is Ethereum. Based on everything I said in my top altcoin video from 2 months ago, look at where the developers are. Look at people are actually using it. Now, will that mean the price will go up if people are, where the developers are, there's a good chance that a killer dApp might be invented.
XRP could pump too. They got a great marketing team.
I would love to see them on Ellen.
Okay.
5 more minutes.
We will take one more tipped question and one more regular question.
Trayvon James says, I'd love to come on and talk about his project with you guys soon.
No, thanks.
Well,
no, thanks.
Well, we don't.
Thanks.
Well, we don't.
No, thanks. Yeah, we don't like do live streams.
This guy loves to play the heel. We don't do live streams or like
we don't like to have like live streams with people. So
yeah. But I love invites.
Yeah.
I love getting invites. Tayshawn says,
and there's nothing wrong with talking about anything, by the way. I'm not just trying to say don't talk about things, but
yeah,
we don't do live streams besides with each other.
Let's see. Hellcat says BTC is the only thing that matters. Some guy says Link is going to moon.
I agree. Here's the thing. Like there's this whole movement now, pay me in Bitcoin. And there's companies like BTC Pay where you can get paid in Bitcoin. You don't see companies popping up for like, pay me in XRP. You don't see, hey, pay me in Cardano, pay me in Doge. If somebody said, I'll give you 1 Bitcoin right now, or I'll give you the equivalent of 110,000 XRP or whatever, would you take 110,000 XRP or would you take 1 Bitcoin? I, for one, would take 1 Bitcoin. Like, you'll have to make that.
Okay, 790 people watching, 628 likes, and going to the chat right now.
And by the way, guys, we want to, do like a live stream like every week. I think it's a nice change from our usual
switch it up
produced videos. It's something more for the fans, I feel.
Let's see. People are having their own little side conversations.
Good, good. This is a community.
MZ says he does not want to see us wrestle. He says that if we get it to 800 likes,
I agree. I think we could have came up with a much better prize.
Name it.
I don't know, just something fun for everybody. Like nobody really cares about liking our video except us. I guess you would care if you wanted to get this information out to as many people as possible, especially since we talked about Bitcoin scarcity in the beginning. I kind of feel like it helps everybody.
The one thing I will say is that our apartment manager, landlord or whatever, has just agreed to accept likes as payment for the rent. So, I mean, it's nice being an influencer in that way. That
yeah, I'm going to just try and get her to take Tron.
Let's see. Custy Zone says thanks.
And again, I want to say I don't own Hex. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying I think that projects that are going to do well when the retail market gets back in are the ones that have money devoted to market. And Bitcoin has no marketing team, and that's another reason why it's the most decentralized and probably will. Dude,
should we make Never Settles a mod? He keeps, every 2-3 minutes he says, please remember to hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the stream. Really helps the channel.
No,
we've never had a mod.
We don't need a mod.
But when we do get one,
he's welcome to,
Never Settles is going to be the first.
We know he's a friend, and we'll look. If he has a question, we'll make sure we answer it.
All right. 5 minutes max, dude.
Yep. 5 minutes max.
I got to start planning my other video for tomorrow. DJ Mindhunter has a channel.
Like, can you imagine?
They're all talking about Hex, dude. With nothing wrong with that,
Yeah,
but maybe some questions for us.
Yeah. I've given my opinion plenty of times.
Besides Hex.
But like I hope I conveyed what I wanted to talk about in this live stream, in that we're taking posts like this for granted. I finally achieved 1 Bitcoin. In the future, it's going to be, I finally achieved half a Bitcoin. I finally got 0.1 Bitcoin. And then in a couple cycles from now, it's, I got this many Satoshis.
I just lost it. Oh, Overtino says, if you hit 800 likes, Yellow Top Twin has to be appreciative of the €2 donation. We can't all afford 100 euros.
Aww.
I think that's a pretty fair thing, dude.
I agree.
I'm appreciative.
I'm appreciative too. The only thing I was saying, does a stripper acknowledge every time somebody gives her $1?
I don't get, so there was a stripper in the chat, they said, that was answering those questions. But
I do appreciate it.
Yeah, the answer is yes, they do.
I just try and be, and I don't know, I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah. All in good fun, guys. Okay. Have you ever considered creating your own crypto? I think.
Yeah, that won't be scammy.
No, I think you have to ask yourself, because crypto uses, it's a block.
Why don't we get all you guys to buy our crypto, and then we can dump on you? I mean, that's really what happens when people create their own crypto. So you will never see us doing it.
This guy's been hurt. You have to ask yourself.
I just think it's dumb, because obviously if a influencer creates their own cryptocurrency, it's just dumb, because it's really valueless.
Well, you have to ask is, why does something need a blockchain? You only need a cryptocurrency if you need a blockchain. And the answer is, do you need something that's censorship resistant? We don't. For our channel, we can communicate very easy with that one. Yeah, then we can do an exit scam. Let's see. Shut up and take my money.
And I do appreciate Ovaltine's $2, €2.
Yes.
Ovaltine.
I always have. This guy came around to it. So thank you for your comment.
I don't know, just trying to keep it light.
Crypto G. He's a filmmaker. He's from Cleveland, resides in Miami. See you on Instagram. He said, if I see you on there, man, for sure. What a pair of pricks. Reedy, keep it clean, buddy.
I'm going to put a countdown, and once this countdown ends, we're going to end the live stream.
Yeah. Keep it short and concise. Okay. Let's see.
Is this good, or should I do it less?
That's
Takes
perfect.
us to 3 o'clock.
Yep, that's perfect. 4 minutes.
This is when the live stream ends.
Master Els, he says he's got to go, but dude, you have 4 minutes. If you can stick around for 4 minutes, it'd be nice. But yeah, appreciate you, man.
I think maybe for the
Aaron is the one in the yellow. Austin is in the red.
Yeah. And I do really appreciate it when you guys take the time to help us out. Just by,
you're sad now.
Well, it's hard for me to be sincere, or like people don't think I'm being
sincere. I like it when Aaron plays the heel and he's a little more combative on this live stream.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I love watching other live streams where one guy's a little agitated.
Yeah, it's fun. But the next kind of thing we should put out, I don't know, to our Patreon or just on Twitter, is what should the next live stream be about?
I like
we kind of do this regularly.
I like that.
Because they need themes, and for this one, I try to make it about Bitcoin scarcity.
Cool. I guess this will be the last time I say it. We're at 677 likes. If we get to 800, then I will beat the Satoshi in a fun way out of this guy right here, or from next time. But final 4 minutes. Let's see. Go into the chat. Do you own BSV? No.
Even the altcoins that I do own, like a lot of them, almost all of them, I can't see actually outperforming Bitcoin given enough time. Now, in the next market cycle top, when the retail people are in, they might outperform Bitcoin in a matter of months or maybe 6 months or a year. But given enough time, I think Bitcoin will do the best. Even if Ethereum is perfect, tons of people building on Ethereum, successful dApp platform, the market for dApps is less than the market of store value gold and money.
2 questions, or one is just from Edward Hunt. He says, thanks for getting me into crypto, Aaron and Austin.
Is that our friend, Ed?
I don't know. We know an Edward Hunt.
I hope it is.
Let us know, man.
Hey, congratulations, man.
And then somebody just asked, do we have any coming up? But I think a better question is not, we don't do interviews on this channel. We keep it short and concise for you. But if you were to interview somebody who's somebody in the crypto space that you'd think, oh, I'd love to interview them.
I like to interview, like, I don't know, like Tone Vase.
So you can hear that we're in a no trade zone and we're probably going down to 1,000.
I wouldn't talk to him about like price. I just talk to him about big picture. I like when he talks big picture.
Yeah. I like anybody that has some perspective.
I'd interview Trump.
I'd have so many questions. Let's see. Final 2 minutes.
2 minutes left, guys.
Go into the chat. Oh, they asked, are there any? Nah. Elon Musk, somebody says would be cool.
Somebody says, excellent live stream. Appreciate it.
Pop Defender says, all the interviews you have done have been great. Do more.
Oh, like the old ones, like when we go to an event.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We like those.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So any LA events, we love to hit them up.
Somebody asked, do you have a game plan when you're going to sell Bitcoin 5 years, 10 years? I mean, it's
playing pretty close to the hip. I'll decide when I'm there.
Yeah.
But there is a portion of my Bitcoin that I will never sell.
And
Seriously.
more importantly, I think going into the future, if this lasts 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I think you're going to find a lot of people aren't selling a portion of their Bitcoin, because the fact is there are only 21 million, not enough for every millionaire on Earth. And more than that, you know, only 200 million people will ever be able to own 0.1 Bitcoin at the same time.
Love you, Jeff Mize. He says he loves the channel.
Yeah.
I love you.
I do appreciate the community that we've built here. People tune in for education, you know, entertainment, you know, the same way that you are entertained by like a Trevor Noah or like somebody who talks about current events. If you're looking to know when to buy or when to sell, you know, that's another channel. Ours is just a place to start off.
That's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
Final 30 seconds.
I thought this was a great live stream, guys. Probably going to do one next week and hopefully, you know, multiple weeks.
We'll hit up the Patreon and ask what they want the live chat general topic, even though I just love the conversation.
Yeah, we start things, you know, for a select group of people, then we take it out to everybody. Or maybe we'll just do it to everybody.
Should we end it?
Yep, we're done.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate you.